All right. So welcome to Granblue Radio number 404. This is the first one after I upgraded to Windows 11. So we had some audio. Am I allowed to say fuckery? I'm gonna say fuckery. It's my show.
I mean, you're not really monetized on YouTube, right? Yeah.
Anyway,
If you're not monetized, then you're not. Well, actually, you might get actually hit by other things for doing it in the first 30 seconds.
all right, Henry, we're gonna need to add some fluff at the beginning. Yoroshiku. All right. So anyway, as you didn't hear at the beginning of this show, there's a lot of travel going on. Uh, so DJ did mention that he's getting on a plane tomorrow. I get on a plane. Well, I just got back from a long drive to Los Angeles. So anyway, when do you get back, DJ?
I get back Tuesday.
Oh, a pretty short trip for you then. That makes
Correct. This is the
sense.
one that was planned.
Okay. Then again, I also have to figure out my plans for going up to Seattle also, because that's my weekender. But going to Seattle for a weekend, much less strenuous than going from Seattle to Japan for a weekend. Anyway,
I mean, I come back, go wait another week, and then I go to NorCal for a weekend. So
yeah, yeah, it's a pretty hectic time of year. So, anyway, so we've got ourselves some new characters that came out while we were all zipping around. Last episode we mentioned that they were coming out in a few hours, and they're here.
yeah, we knew they were coming too. It was Luo, Mahira, Bosummer, and then Basara.
Yeah, Luo was the one who was unannounced, but also unsurprising.
I
So we're
forgot Luo was unannounced because it's been forever since we did this.
yeah, so Yukata Seifon is the last one who will come out on April 1st, and then there will be one other unannounced character with Luo, and then we don't know what's coming next. But let's start with Basara.
You mean Seiphon.
Yukata, what did I say?
You said Luo.
Dang it. Yukata Seifon is the last one who is going to be coming out April 1st. Alright, so let's start talking with Basara. So, first of all, he is both Grand and 12 Generals. So he's a Divine General. He's affected by the new wonder that we got from Romance of the Divine Generals. Um, this is the first time that we've had something like this. So they actually had to, well, they didn't have to, but they changed the display on certain characters. So there is a specific character who is both Summer and Grand that they adjusted the display for. So Grand comes first now. I think she was like Summer Grand before or something like that. But anyway,
This is not a grand character dog. Not since 2016.
yeah,
Like other grand characters at least got something.
that's fair. She has a lot of history that she like is still paying for, basically. All right, so we've got ourselves a new Divine General slash Grand, just like Vajra, Katana Melee. Um, which section should we go to first? His supports or his buff? Because both of them are kind of defining who he is and what he's doing.
Go supports. You always should go supports first.
Okay, so he starts the fight with. Does he start with Watchdog's Flame at all? No, he has to hit a button for Watchdog's Flame.
Yeah, that's on skill one and what was it?
So, you
Divine Intensity gives it to him from skill three.
okay? So yeah, he gets 3 Watchdog's Flames when he has Divine Intensity. Got it. So while he has Watchdog's Flame, he gets Amplified Attack, he gets Chaser, and on his attacks he dispels.
Yeah, the amp is Rapid Multiplier 30%, 30% Chaser, and D-Spell. So yeah.
In exchange, so he never gets meter from attacking with an asterisk. He deals triple attacks, always triple attack. He is permanently immune to debuffs, And for
I,
every
I like how always like nowadays immunity buffs asterisk. Sometimes the boss says no.
mhm. For every 3 attacks, he gets a 30% boost to his meter. And so he
Please note
has
this is instances of attacks, not so even if you triple attack, you still don't get meter until the third time you do attack.
So is this every 3 of his own attacks, or is every 3 attacks by your team?
You wish it was by your team.
Yeah, okay. So essentially, he kind of gains 10 meter in attack on an on the opposite of an installment plan, on a bulk plan. And then he has a stackable boost to dodge rate that he gets for every 3 attacks as well.
Once again, he doesn't actually do anything with that dodge.
Hmm.
It's not. There's nothing in his passives. There's nothing. Just sometimes they just give you dodge.
Hmm. Once again, sort of taken from Vajra, where Vajra sometimes on her chain burst stuff just gives herself dodge all, but that's dodge all and not just boost to dodge. So different.
It's okay. Skill one gives dodge all
Yeah. All
with
right.
full
So
hostility.
yeah. So here it is. So here's the 800% light damage. He gets his Watchdog's Flame from skill 1. He gets a sharp boost to hostility. Is it 100%? You said full?
It was full.
And dodge all attacks from foes. It's on an 8-turn cooldown, though, so he's hitting this on turn 1 to give himself Watchdog's Flame, and then after that, you really are looking for the next hit, which is going to be when we get to Divine Intensity. So, his second skill, Flash Hound, 3 hits of light damage. He gives local minus attack, minus defense, and minus accuracy. And once he hits this Divine Intensity button, he also attacks out of turn, which, as you may remember, is going to be amplified with bonus light damage. It's going to dispel, and it will give him 1/3 of 30 meter.
But not at once.
Hmm. It's not the same as giving him 10 meter. It gives him one of 3 installments toward getting 30 meter. And then the other thing is, so here's Divine Intensity. It's his signature thing here.
On
So,
standby for 5 turns.
yep,
There's nothing to cheat this out.
nothing to cheat it out, but it shortens its, is it shortened standby when the foe uses a special attack? Let me go look at this again.
Standby.
Yeah, so, um, you'll, in a normal fight that doesn't have a super long CT bar, it'll be available on turn 3 or 4.
As long as you
Prob
don't delay them.
Or if you, less if you're like doing secret triad slash other like fill the opponent's dots things. But anyway, so during this he gets 2 hit flurry, he gets double strike, and he gets 3 Watchdog's Flame at end of turn, which means that yeah, so during those double strikes he will have enough Watchdog's Flame to get the amp and the multi attack on them, or
Yeah,
not
and
multi
also
attack, but
skill
yeah.
one and skill two come off cooldown, meaning that your attack out of turn that will happen will actually have Watchdog's Flame
Hmm.
attached to it.
And then every once in a while, when you have the wonder and he's attacked 6 times basically, then he can CA to get Basara Senzan, which gives minus special attack damage and gives him an additional bonus light damage effect on top of his bonus light damage from having Watchdog's Flame.
Yeah, it's 50%. I think Lancelot also has that, and Makura.
Hmm.
To note is that because he can start with 40 meter instead of 30,
Hmm.
if you do Secret Triad, he'll be at 70, and then more than likely the boss C8, and now you're at 100, and then as he hit quote unquote turn 5.
Hmm.
It's quote unquote because they probably CA'd because you gave the boss meter.
Hmm.
It lines up that after CAing you have Divine Intensity.
Okay. And so the problem with this is that so you've got Divine Intensity. Divine Intensity lasts 5 turns. Its cooldown is 15, and nowhere in this does there have an effect that shortens it at all. It's no like when you CA lower the cooldown by 1 or anything like that. So, you know, this is a long cooldown, and the first time you cheat it out, you cheat it out. So you hit this once, and then 3 or 4 turns later, you hit Divine Intensity that lets you hit it again. And then you're back on an actual normal cooldown of 8 turns and 7 turns, and there's no like window. And so this will be sort of a semi-dead slot for like 2 turns with when Divine Intensity is down and Torchbearing Watchdog hasn't come up yet. He's out of Watchdog's flame, and he's sitting around sort of waiting for it to come back up under normal timing.
Granted, it's around like 2 turns. You'll be without Watchdog Flames,
Mm-hmm. Because he only uses one
and
at a time when there's no Divine Intensity.
and then you have another 2 turns because it's Watchdog Flame is 3 turns
Oh
pretty
yeah, you're
much.
right. Mm-hmm.
So there's only like 2 turns of downtime of Watchdog Flames usually at any given point.
Right. And to be fair, that's 8 really good turns. So he's going to give you 2 turns of invulnerability with an asterisk. So if there's any kind of single target going on, then he'll eat 2 of those turns on his own. He'll do a ton of damage.
Well, it's dodge all one time, so if the boss decides to double strike,
Mm.
he will eat it all afterwards.
Yeah, that's
Please
fair.
look at the current boss that we're fighting that has double strike. Actually, more than double strike.
She's mean when she gets mad.
And she gets mad. Anyways, you can't even bring this character to that fight, anyways.
Yeah. So anyway, but yeah.
Here's the issue I have with this is
Mhm.
that last United fight they decided to create a boss that says, "Oh yeah, if you do a lot of hits in order to dispel, you die. This does not solve the problem. He will die." If that's the same philosophy going forward.
Right. And the other thing is that they have said that they need to diversify from that. Like they admitted it in the Famitsu interview that they need to do more things than just put dispel on everything. Yeah, I'm giving this an incomplete. He's good at like shorter fights right now, so well, I guess
And
we count those
Divine
mid
General good at
range.
shorter fights. He's actually pretty good.
He is.
Like I said, like most moments, you're only down in Watchdog Flames 2 turns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so I do think he's good. I think he's fun. I haven't used him yet. I'm going to go like
I
like
give him the
many
grade
times.
of better Lancelot because he can actually gain meter,
Right, that's fair. Um, the thing
and
is that
he triple attacks instead of double attacks twice.
yeah, I'm going to be going to the um, I'm gonna go back after all of the anniversary stuff and just start redesigning things. Like I usually wait until after we get all of the stuff, and so it's like I got myself a Summer Mars summon, and so it's like, all right, now I have the tools to actually like test this um, on sort of terms that like put it in a comparable space to what I've been watching. Because it's like, all right, I've got Mars. I'm happy with my uh, light grid in general. I'm still on Magna, but it's like, all right, I've got Basara. I've got a few other tools. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna try doing Osiris. I'm gonna try doing Fediel, and in a couple of weeks, there's a bunch of different nightmares to test this character against. And so I'm looking forward to that because, it's a good solid niche for him to be like, oh yeah, anytime between like 3 and 10 turns, this is gonna do a lot of work. So, anything else to say about this set?
We immediately got the defense ignoring weapon.
Oh yeah, the Cana Fortis. We were talking about that. Let's see here, weapons, and it's going to be an SSR light katana. Cane of Fortis. So, actually, it's better
Supplements
to show it
normal
in the
attack
journal.
damage.
Yeah, so you said supplements normal attack damage as a light katana.
Yeah. Ignores defense and small attack, and then Athos is boost to multi attack and amps normal attack damage,
So,
and, then has a boost when it's above 280 and above.
yeah, so the two major styles of light right now are CA and skill. So, um, like characters like Feather and Basara and things like that kind of wanted something like this in order to push them over, the CA gods and the skill gods. That said, you know, we really, really need to see what's going to happen with the new EX Plus and things like that to see what place Impalement will have outside of like one-shotting Unite and Fight EX Plus right now.
It's really interesting that they made Gold Athos just a weaker version of the Opus skill,
Hmm.
because it's like at 280 boost, you're half of the DATA rate. It's 12.5% instead of 25%.
And it's not boostable. It just plain is that is well, it's boostable via fulfilling the condition, kind of like the Revan's weapons.
Well, it's just the Opus skill,
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
and then the amp's still the same though. So
Okay.
you can only go to 20% amp for normal attack damage. So you can, if you're on the Opus and this,
Hmm.
that's all you need for the amp.
Okay.
But you're still far away from having. You're at 37.5% multi attack. You still need a little bit more for higher raids.
Yeah. I need to go look up.
Granted, there's a very magical weapon that they printed in Light Magna that you only need a one of in order to get that to pretty much 75%.
Yeah, the I was actually going to ask you if you saw any math about uh how worthwhile this is in one of the slots for Magna Light. Because, yeah, here's the Luminaria Saver Credo, which I think is the one you were talking about, right? The
Yeah,
big boost to triple attack and then the multi attack on this thing. I love
and
this
here
weapon.
yeah, it's so good.
Yeah,
I have not looked at grid math
yeah.
because grid math in Light is really weird.
Yeah, that's fair. Um,
And usually, what it ends up is it worth it to be normal attacking
mm-hmm,
with amp? And unlike skill damage, the answer is usually no.
mm-hmm,
Like like Yoel's weapon, for example, is actually just a full opus,
right.
and is good because she also just does a billion skill damage, and also skill damage just exists in fire.
Because, yeah, a lot of the characters who want to amp their autos are, like, supercharging them in some way. So, like, Utsusemi, for example, loves to auto, but she also does skill at the end of her big L autos because it's like here's Assassin's Aim on a 6-turn cooldown with a double strike the second time she hits it, and then the third time
And
she hits it,
Flurry
she
the
flurries.
30.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so this is a character who really benefits from it. We have the new Toyen who also loves just swinging, but she turns those swings into skill damage. For the more often she swings, the more skill damage she does after her swings. It's like we talked about Feather, one of my favorite
Mm,
characters in this element.
Geisenborger, because his skill damage is on long cooldown, but he's able to quadruple strike a lot.
That's true. Um, yeah, there's
Excuse me, quadruple attack. He has quad attack. It's really funny. They really need to reprogram how those triple attack opens work. By the way,
so that it actually affects quad strike or quad attack, not quad
granted,
strike.
there's only like two characters that quad attack.
Yeah, him and Albert, like Wind
Wind
Albert.
Owlbear from
Yeah,
Summer.
yeah. Um, and then it's like Luo autos and then does a big nuke at the end. Ragazzo autos big and then does a nuke at the end of his stuff. And so yeah, there's a lot of hybrid like normal attack and then skill damage. Um, but only a
That
couple of characters who like super assassin or we've got like Makura here. Anyway.
Granted, this weapon's actually not that bad as a main hand for Omnioji.
Oh yeah?
It's guaranteed triple attack on CA and 3 turns of bonus light damage.
That's pretty nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
Especially
now imagine hitting that skill 1 afterwards.
with your triple strike. Oh yeah. So we'll come back to that by the way because of another thing that just came out that also looks good for Onmyoji's. So
Yeah, too bad the fight sucks.
we'll keep going from there. All right. So that's Basara. Now we get to talk about Luo. So that's Earth. What staff? There he
Staff
is.
melee.
So you said start with the passive. So upon the chain burst deastrophism or a faded chain. So this is the upgrade that they've made to make the 6 dragon stuff work in V1. So it's like okay, 4+ chain or faded chain. Then he gets White's Deliverance, which goes up to 10 um, and affects a bunch of his other stuff. And based on how much HP he gets everyone charge meter. And also based on
Yeah,
like
maximum 20%.
hmm and when it says boost to charge bars, is that the instant 20% or is it the you gain 20% more and it's a buff?
It's instant charge bar.
Okay.
Uh, the 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 separations are by 25%. So at full health, it's
Mhm.
20%.
Mhm.
From 99 to 75 is 15. 75 to 50 is 10. 49 to 25 is 5. And if you're dying, 0.
Right. So yeah, he's part that one already tells you where you want to use him. Are you CAing? Yes, put this character in.
Yeah,
Uh
not only that, the White's Deliverance is
mhm.
like 30%, like at max stats, 30% perpetuity, 50% defense, 100% DA, and 30% TA
Mhm.
for the Earth allies specifically.
Okay. And then the other thing is that if you are in V2, then while an omen is active, you every Earth ally gets armor on a turn when they attack, like before they attack.
Yeah, otherwise it's 40% or lower HP.
hmm Um, and so are you CAing? Is the content hard enough? Does it have omens? Then this character will want to be there. All right. So
No, if you cancel the Omen, it's just a bonus.
it's true. So here's good grief, what a handful. He has dispel on CA, and um, he gets his skill 1 back. So that's his refresh like skill refresh mechanic. He doesn't need to faded chain to get stuff back like the other versions of 6 dragon stuff. Um, Also, when he happens to get White's Deliverance 10, then he
Double these
double dispel,
spells.
double CAs. Yeah.
You could end the lightning chastisement twice. Does that
Ooh,
do anything? No.
no.
But you double these spell and double CA, so you can now also just pretty much chain on your own.
hmm And then, so actual lightning chastisement, 5 hits, up to a maximum of 10 hits based on what his White's Deliverance is.
And
When,
if you're
yep,
super alive,
yeah.
recast.
So he gets stacking minus attack minus defense, 5 to 10 hits, and then another 5 to 10 hits once when he's actually like doing doing really well and is strong and healthy.
Yeah,
Another, yep.
it's in increments of 2 levels, so 1 and 2 levels gives you an
hmm
extra hits, so on and so forth.
Right.
So you only need 9 actually in order to get the 5 hits,
Hmm
5 extra hits.
And then here's more meter going to the team. So he gives an uplift, he gives a refresh. It's not a revitalize. That would be really excessive if he had both uplift and revitalize. He also has the Seiphon style button of just 30% boost to Fated Chain Bar, and
I guess as caster.
mhm,
You don't even need to mention it's the caster gets faded chain bar.
yeah. So extend effect durations based on what his White's Deliverance is. So up to a maximum of 8 turns with an 8 turn cooldown.
Easter cooldown. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry, Monica. You have done well.
Monica can retire because Monica only does the meter basically when she's doing these loops. And so yeah.
Yeah, she has no other buttons but meter.
Yep. This is a character with other things to do while also feeding gigantic chunks of meter to everybody. And then, just in case, uh, you have this green button with an amazingly long cooldown, but it deserves that cooldown because it just says healed everyone to max, remove all debuffs. It unfortunately does it in that order, like many other things. So
No, it
it
doesn't.
doesn't. It actually removes all the debuffs
Removes the
first.
debuffs before healing.
Sick.
They it is worded the way that everything else does, but it works not.
All right, even better.
Why? I don't know. They forgot how conjunctions work.
And then yeah, if he happens to have White's Deliverance when he presses this button, then sure, why not? 100% meter also.
If you weren't CA looping already, this is for every other instance in the game, aka P2.
But yeah, I mean, so the instances where you go back to CA looping and just doing long chains is already going to be like high defense, long form, full auto content anyway. And so, yeah, bye, Monica. You have served us long and well. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's too much more to say about it. This character has a very clear job. He has a very focused way of doing it, and he does well at it.
I'm now looking at when Monica came out.
Oh, lovely Monica.
Lovely Monica was 2021, so 4 years, not bad.
Yeah.
She had, I don't have Luo, so I'm still using Monica.
hmm But
I
yeah,
mean, to
there's
be fair, if I didn't have Monica, I would just use Benjamin.
yeah, he does the job very well as well.
Yeah, he just mostly does that.
hmm But I mean, that's also what Monica did, so it's not like he's losing too much.
And she activates Violet Shock Flicker,
True, true.
a button that does not exist on
On her
her
Earth
lovely
version.
version.
Yeah. All right. Um, so those were the ones that we're pretty happy about. Here comes the one where we're just gonna keep looking around and trying to find what's going on here
I think they switched the release order of Christmas and summer.
for Mahira.
Yeah,
Yeah. All right. So it's like this. There's a few things going on here that I just don't understand what order they're supposed to be in.
this is a character from 2020.
All right. So plumage effect to wind allies that switch to main ally, and you
What does
said
plumage do?
when an ally with plumage does normal attacks, then she activates her skill 2, and if at the end of the turn an ally who does have plumage is almost knocked out, so in red health, they get healed and get a debuff removed.
You want to know how much the heal is?
Is it going to be 1500? Oh, is it going to be a year?
It's 1500
Oh,
actually.
okay.
They weren't even funny with that one.
They didn't actually bother putting like the 2017 on it.
It would have been better if it was 2017 than 1500.
Oh, jeez. All right, but yeah, so plumage is what,
Also,
5 turns long?
yeah, it also gives the following ability effects: 100% DA, 30% TA, 20% Chaser, and every 17 hits, remove a buff.
Yeah, so it's up here on her skill 1 as well. So she gets 5 turns on an 11 turn cool, sorry, 10 turn cooldown probably once she's
It's a
leveled.
10 turn. Why?
So
Because still one CA lowers it, but you can only give this to one ally. You can only grant this to one ally.
cuz
The
it's
other
next
person had to
position.
come in from the back.
Mhm. And then yeah, so if they already have plumage and she hits plumage again, which requires a whole lot of CAing or requires the person who comes in to be the same person that is so she has to be in like the position before the character who came in, who did the switch.
So she can't be in slot 4.
Yeah. I'm very confused looking at this still. All right. So the benefit that you get for the character who comes after her and has come in, or one of the both, is you get Rooster Crow, which gives you 4 hit wind damage, a hit to multi attack rate, stackable, and then every 3 times that Rooster's Crow goes off, so 1 from her cast, 1 from a normal attack from someone that came in with plumage, and I guess 1 from the other character who has plumage if you have dedicated a sacrifice into a swap and the next character buff into there, then yeah, you get the damage taken is supplemented for the next 3 hits, which is a little weird because it comes right after a nuke, and then are you planning to how are you gonna use that? Because yeah, it's very confusing to me.
Well, Rooster Crow is actually good. It's actually good because it's every 3 uses. It lasts for 3 turns.
Right. Okay.
It's not 1 turn and it doesn't have you. It's like if you casted Tea Tree's supplemental
Okay.
damage
Got
debuff.
it. Yeah. Yeah. All right. And then
That one's fine.
yeah. Then here's her old buff, uh, where it's the strength effect. It's the 30% boost to meter. It's debuff. It's one charge veil, and if you have plumage, then it amps your normal attack. And then yeah, when she CAs, she shortens the cooldown by 3 turns, and she grants 2 hit flurry to any ally who has plumage.
I don't know what they're going with that part, but
So so here are the things that
we
just
we are we are seeing when we're trying to give flurry.
we're also trying to do a back to front strategy in wind. And so there are 3 characters in wind with back to fronts that are used at all. So the common ones are the evokers. One of them can't attack, so plumage does literal nothing on that evoker. The other one's a support who would rather have someone else be doing the attacking. Uh, we like to call Katsulia an infamous single attack merchant because he would rather be CAing. Um, he needs something like
Hey, you get double attack from this.
yay, a double attacking Katsulia.
Hey, you said you was single attacking, so
That's true. He will now double attack our infamous single attack merchant. Because yeah, when you use him and you need to go fulfill a triple attack omen, a lot of the time what people do is they're just like, all right, look, we need to use the Rising Force skill that gives specifically harp specialty characters like 50% multi attack. Otherwise, he just won't do it. It's like, okay, so she's not helping those two. Um, we've kind of got uh like Grand Vane trying to die, which yeah, that's a weird one. But anyway, the other one is Joy, and it's like you're not using this on Joy. I mean, you could if you really wanted to.
Yeah, so I don't know why they gave it that ability of back to front. And
Yeah.
even then, like the characters that you would want to give this buff to and give them flurry
Mhm.
doesn't really care.
Yeah. Like
Like
it's
my first thought is like, oh, we're normal. You want a normal tech? Let's do a Grimnir. Grimnir doesn't care about flurry. He automatically flurries.
yeah, I like there's like three different directions that she's trying to go, and
It's not.
the
It's also not a permanent buff.
yeah, the reward is very low for the effort that you've put in, and the element is extremely poor at making use of any of this.
Like I said, this is a 2020 character, yeah, created in the year 2025, and Mahira Holiday he came out early
Hmm.
because that character is 2021 and really good.
Yeah. But yeah, like I don't know. I just don't know. All right, so that's all the
She
characters.
cute though.
She is cute. Her
I,
uncap
I
art
do
is
like the
adorable.
I do like the CA with the with going on the water.
Hmm. All right, so those are the new characters. Uh, Next up we have got um, so we've got one new weapon that's very fast to go through. So we've got Exo Coral Crucible. We've got our standard set of new missions to do, and one new weapon. And that new weapon um, is where are you? There you are. Exoheliocentrum. Um, the special thing about the Exoheliocentrum is when it's a main weapon, and we've been talking about how Light kind of had bad staves for a while. So when it's a main weapon, if any Light ally has 60% or lower charge meter before attacking, then they get damage cap up to 10%. Unfortunately, it appears not to stack with Geisenborger.
It's the same.
It's the
It's a
exact same
passive.
buff. Yeah.
It
Um,
also who also grants this buff
who's that?
5.
Mm. So, anyway, the thing that you're actually doing with this is you have the supplemental damage buff from having it main hand. You have the damage cap buff here from having it main hand. And then every once in a while you can get a dispel cancel, which is nice. Like the main staff main hand weapon, like main hand weapon users, eat up a lot of their own meter, whether they're necromancers or mana divers. So you tend not to get this CA very often on a staff. But amplifying light allies' normal attack damage, pretty worthwhile. Dispel cancel on a CA, pretty nice.
Well, if you're a mana diver and you're trying to get that second passive, you usually end up at 70 unless you're using like Bahamut or
Or Lucy. Yeah.
yeah, which okay.
Yeah.
I think there's better things to be doing.
Hmm. But yeah,
Uh,
basically the
the
supplemental and the
dispel
damage
cancel is
cap.
like all right.
Hmm.
The issue is it I have with it is that Lucifer exists.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Um, but yeah, like I said, so I'm trying it out because I was using I'd made an Ultima staff for my light mana diving needs, and it was like serviceable, but it was just all it did was exist, you know? Because it's not like anybody in a mana diver team really needs double attack question mark and light attack up, but so this does do more than that, but once again, all of this is in the passives, not in the resplendent ruler's jurisdiction here.
Yeah, and well, if you're mana diving, I still have an Ivory Arc.
Yeah, I don't have that, so I'm still scrapping around looking to see what there is, because it's like my options are the Celestial Staff, which doesn't suck. It's just that that's defensive,
I mean, this thing it put dispel cancel, so it's also kind of defensive.
Yeah, but the amplify light allies normal attack damage is still better than like a decent number of the things here. So anyway, it was easy to get. So I will still experiment with it, but early returns are that it's very very middling.
Yeah, compared to existing things.
hmm Uh, but we also, speaking of things from diving mana, we just got our magical mastery trial. So this one is going to be for the mana divers, the Iatro Mantises, and the Onmyoji out there. There's also a new Manatura from this, and I can't click on it for whatever reason. Let me refresh. So here,
Yeah, the better that can only come from a blue chest.
mm, all right, here's Perfida, the new Manatura. Skill: when an MC has one or more crests, then it's 3 hits of elemental damage, notably 1 less hit than Leviathan, 3 less hits than Ouroboros, and a hit to debuff resistance. So the hit to debuff resistance just constantly stacking up could mean something. If you're in for that, then it's a better survival and like sustain option than the supplemental damage that Ouroboros gives or the defense down that Leviathan gives. That said, it does way less damage. So if you're ever going to use Perfida, it's for this support here, which is when an ally is almost knocked out, then it eats 5 of your crests to heal everybody to full 1 time. Um, as we're going to see later when we go through the slides, Lucio is still a very, very popular character for doing exactly this. You know,
I think he does more than that though.
this is true. He does a lot more than that.
I'm pretty sure it is the double strike, the a billion damage he does from. He does like 6 million every turn minimum because
hmm
of his skill 4.
While true, yeah, this is one of the pieces of text on Lucio that people use him for because he gets used in a lot of just full autos that you just leave him alone. Your team will survive for an extra like 12 turns or something like that because of his passive. It's like, oh no, somebody's hit the red. All right, everybody's at full health now. So if you're in for this, then sure, you should know when this is going to be an option or not. But yeah, uh, most of us are sticking to Leviathan, or even what is it, Cha-Cha? It's Cha-Cha Zero, right?
Which Joshua 0.
Yeah. So anyway, so we're not doing this for the Manatura. What we're doing this
Well,
for?
Chachi 0 only does 4 hits if you have Ava in your party.
Okay. I
Also
forgot
consumes less,
about that requirement.
but also has like the supplemental skill damage.
Mm-hmm.
So you know,
Yeah. So we're doing this for the class champion weapons, and the class champion weapons. So we know 5 out of the 6 extra effects on this. I do not know the Unmyoji's Reito CA upgrade at the moment. But we can go through and we can take a look at most of these. So, um, the Labrys and the Royal Deliverance have pretty much proven their worth so far. The Diadem Moulinet, we're gonna keep moving on. But here we have the Atramantis one. So the Atramantis one, on CA, it removes a buff, and with the level 200 upgrade, it also
mitigates elemental damage taken until end of
for one
turn.
turn. It's like okay, um, it changes a Mintico Foss so that it has 3 therapeutic stances, so reactive heal 3 times instead of 2. It also provides dispel cancel and provides a 1-time bonus elemental damage effect to your team when you use a Mintico Foss. All right. Um, a Mintico Foss is basically one of the reasons to be in Yatromantis in the first place, and this is a good buff to it.
I mean, the one-time gear chaser goes in line with the one-time triple attack.
Mm-hmm. The second one, this is the targeted buff. So with Numa, you get bonus elemental damage to the target on use. This is the one that people use the least, basically, on the Atramantis.
I
Um,
mean, that this one just is infinite.
mhm. But the last one is the most like needle moving in that normally Megalophotia does not have a cooldown. It's got a ready, and then it can't be recast because it's a full heal. And so it's like, all right, turn 10 Megalophotia and keep going. But with this when this with this thing on, then it also does an all dispel on turn 10 along with the big damage, the heal to full, the full debuff remove, and then 12 turns later you can do it again.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah. So if you're in for a long grind and you're the kind of fight that you were bringing to Yatromantis to in the first place, this is sick. The last bit for when you awaken it fully is that it changes your skill 1, the heal, so that um, it gives the following things: 20% meter, strength, uh, attack up, defense up, stacking to other allies, not the MC, stacking damage cap up, um, multi attacks up stacking. And as a reminder, this is the skill that is reactively activated by a Mintico Phos.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like it.
Yeah. So this one's up there with the Royal Deliverance. It's like if you know you're in for a long fight, then this thing will help a lot. Um, the Mana Diver one has a lot of competition, but we'll take a look at it. All right. So it's CA, and as a Mana Diver, you basically need to be having the Agastia um, Manatura in order to see this more than like a couple times a fight. So you grant him Elemental Crest. You give supplemental damage for the rest of the turn, and with the level 200 thing, it does extra damage based on the number of crests that you have, maximum of 5 times, which actually, gets to use the supplemental damage effect on your CA.
If only the MC could have like a billion crest on them.
Yeah. Um,
Instead, we give that to a character. We can give that to a character with an artifact.
yeah. All right. So skill 1, um, it changes Wild Magicka, which is one of the more popular skills on there. Uh, so instead of eating 50% meter, it costs 10% less for each crest that you have built, which means that at 5 crests, and if you're staying at 5 crests, it costs 0. That's huge.
Yeah,
Secret,
that
yeah,
double strike is really nice.
yeah, 2 turns for 0 meter, I'd take that. That's what Vajra has. All right, Conjurer's
Well,
Erudition. Whoop, go ahead.
Valadra also needs to not be at 100 or more.
Yeah. All right, Conjurer's Erudition. When main weapon, all of these are like that. So Secret Triad also amplifies allies' normal attack damage, and it gives the multi-attack.
Really
It's
good.
Yeah, it's the most popular button on Mana Diver, basically. So yeah, it helps a lot. Conjurer's Acumen. So Overtrance. This one, they're like, no, you don't get to have a cooldown back on this one. But when you
Oh
cast
no,
it,
I can't. I can't like, we can't make this too pseudo caduceus,
yeah.
mate.
So boost to MC skill specs, CA specs, and special CA damage cap. All right. I mean, if you were overtrancing already, then it just makes it better. Um, the problem is that the reason that you're overtrancing is probably because your main hand gives your entire team double strike. So Anyway, the first two, pretty sick. And
Man, I
then,
can't believe they gave a double strike on a dagger.
yeah, the level 2 or level 15 awakening version of this gives your skill 1 the ether something or other, ether section. I can't remember what it is in English right now, this moment.
Siphon.
Siphon. So the meter goes to your entire team instead of just your MC. And then the other thing is that if you happen to have 5 crests already by the time when you hit that button, then it does 3 hits instead of 1.
I guess that I think the 30% meter is more important.
Yeah, the meter to your team. Yeah. So, um, like, I would rather have this than the Exo, probably on my light mana diver. So I'll see if I can finish a light mana diver, well, a mana diver dagger by the time Unite and Fight comes around.
I'm not gonna even bother. This rate's too annoying.
No, that's fair. And then the last one we have is the Onmyoji's Reito, which also is exciting. So this is the one where I don't know the CA effect on it yet. Um, so I'll have to give this an incomplete and we come back to it later. But
The CA effect is 10% element boost the elemental charge bar, and MC gets a spirit seal.
MC gets a Spirit Seal, huh? Okay.
Yeah, so
Cause yeah,
effectively you get two spirit seals from CAing.
okay. Cause yeah, I didn't see this on Game With when we started this, so um, thank you to whoever provided the science for this. All right. Uh, Shikigami Mizuchi, if you have this thing on, only uses 2 Spirit Seals to end cooldown, which is, I mean, yeah, I already use that
Two
thing a
instead of
lot.
three is pretty good.
Yeah. Um,
That'll make
in,
my tigers even better.
it'll just make breaking omens even easier. Uh, you can just keep spamming that button to get debuffs that land, and then just do debuff omen or skill hit omen or whatever you want. Uh, Exorcist Erudition, so Celestial Genesis doesn't eat Spirit Seals. It will just plain instant CA stand by you, and is it the reactivate that you get also with when you use full seals? And by full I mean 7 of them. Let me make sure. Yes. So yeah, 30 meter to your team, 10 uplift to your team, full CA to yourself, and you still get to use your Spirit Seal somewhere else. Like that button was worth it even when it used up your 7 Spirit Seals. So yeah, sick. 5 phase seals version thing. So as a reminder, 5 stage phase seal.
Is when you're already at spiritual level 2.
Yeah, so you actually have to execration twice before you get to this. And then what it does is it removes 6 buffs instead of 3, lowers multi-attack rate, lowers accuracy, and then it still does the 18 hits of damage taken amplified and the stop sign, or 5 phase seal for the can't attack. Um, yeah, I am in for pretty much everything this does. The last effect, which we do know about from the Full Awakening, is when you hit your skill 1, um, then your MC gains Self Element Chaser, which, is pretty relevant because when you hit that button, you triple strike. So yeah, like, I think my priorities for this one are going to be trying to get this dagger in time, and then trying to get the Reito somewhere later down the line, because this thing looks great for just soloing things. It looks great. It looks like it's on the level of if you're just playing manual hard stuff, then where are you? Is the Kusanagi the Yamato one? It is. Because, like, the Yamato class champion weapon actually got use for quite a while as a bridge to hard content, and the Reito looks like it's fulfilling that same kind of thing. And just plugging a lot of holes in your hard content teams. and your requirements for things.
Hmm.
So, given that you only need to build one and you just change it around, like I can see myself using this in light. I don't see myself using it in dark. I can see myself using it in earth. Uh, yeah, there's a bunch of places where this can go. Like fire could probably use it pretty well. Um, and then let's see here. You've mentioned that you just don't like the fight itself. Is there anything to say about the design of the fight and what it might mean for future stuff?
Yeah, why does this thing like instantly murk me at like if I take too long?
Yeah, so um
It's
the
really punishing for people who try to play stall.
yeah, because the concept of it is basically like the mana diver part is that she's got the familiar that after she attacks will spit skill damage at you. The Onmyoji part is that she's continuously putting up buffs that you have to like bring down via things other than just dispel. Like there are a few things that are
You
dispellable in
cannot
there.
dispel most of these.
Yeah, you have to
Oh
like
yeah, and also there's also the dispel cancel at one part too.
hmm yeah, that's the Iatromantis part of this fight. Um, and then also like she's debuff immune unless you've done some things to the debuff she tries to inflict on you. It's it's very mean unless you join in at the beginning and you start working on those requirements.
Yeah, losing damage on the 30th hit is fine, and then you see that oh yeah, you can remove it if you hit 303 times. It's like all right, that's about like 4 turns of work in
It
most
is.
cases.
Yep. And if other like it seems like uh the ideal number of players in this is like 3 or 4 so they can actually, you know, clear
Play.
their requirements. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Like
it's like okay, so join trigger, you get the unchallenged. That's the same as before.
mhm.
Spirit of Conjurers says that when they normal attack, they don't CA for when they have Spirit of Conjurer because they'll take two of their meter and then nuke you, and
Mhm.
also put stackable attack defense down on you. Oh, yeah, and then apparently like this number of hits increases the more crest it has.
Yep.
Where's the crest come from?
I actually don't know where the crests come from. I just know that they go up.
I'm looking at this right now.
But yeah, the
Oh,
really rude
it
thing,
goes up from some CAs.
yeah, so the really rude thing is that, Martial Mastery Trial, when you hit the hard stop at like 20 or 30% or something like that, it's like, okay, this thing's just going to hit really hard and I'm going to need this is a burn phase, right? Where it's like he's going to hit really hard, I need to hit really hard back because at a certain point the defense won't be necessarily enough and I'll just fall over and die because he's just um esoteric mastery trial when you get below 25% she's trying to paralyze you.
She's not trying. She
Yeah.
does.
Yeah. And so it's
Yes,
not really a burn phase.
let's look at it. There's a part where let's see here. Final cosmic mantra ignores veil.
Which was kind of
Will
important.
apply
Yep.
if no damage is taken. That means that, like, at least in United fights, when you make it so it targets one person, only that person is affected.
hmm
You could have Andre or Paella take the entire thing, and then everyone is still paralyzed.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you join late and you get like 1 or 2 turns underneath 25%, and then your entire team is paralyzed and you fall over. Like I was like, okay. And then your last two characters in line are the ones who do any kind of work. Like actually, Maria Teresa Hasalia have done a lot of damage on their own, but it's just like, all right, I just have to accept death and move on, I guess. Yeah.
Let's see here. Yeah, okay. Here's a list of devos that happen to you when final cosmic mantra occurs.
All right.
Skill delay by 4 turns, so goodbye your skill cooldowns even if you somehow live.
These are the ones that I remember. You're also putrefied, not poisoned, right? It's the purple one. You're
You are paralyzed. You're cursed.
cursed, so yeah, so you can't heal. Uh,
Supplemental. You take supplemental damage. You're burned for 10k. You suffocate.
oh, it's suffocate, not.
And
Oh god, it's the
also,
meaner one.
here's the icing on top. These cannot be cut.
Yeah,
So even if you're playing near, you will die
and the thing
because
is that
you're cursed.
well, the big thing is that you do not die slow. She will double strike with supplemental damage, and at the end of each attack, the Manatura spits on you for both fire and water damage. So, um, you will take enough damage from the paralyzed that you're in like pretty dire health, and the next turn you're just plain dead. Like there is very little you can do about that, and if you have come in late.
What is this one? Spirit of the Seer Physician. Debuff resistance is sharply lowered until the end of turn after blocking 8 debuffs. Don't do it more than 8 debuffs.
No, that's the positive. It's her debuff resistance gets severely lowered if
Oh, do more than 8 debuffs.
yeah.
That's cool.
So the thing is that the first 8 debuffs that you do are blanked, and then after that, then debuffs can finally land on the 20 sub 25%, which is I mean, if you save a bunch of cooldowns so that you can actually debuff, great. The problem is,
I found the Sagacity Crest. It is when you're at 25%.
mm-hmm. But yeah, like the problem is that it's a burn phase, and so you've either got to dedicate a whole bunch of buttons to that, or you have to be, playing Shalem and you just burn 40 meter on nothing before you can actually get to the rest of it. But she cuts your meter,
This
like
boss
she zeroes your meter.
sucks.
She's mean.
Oh yeah, she also takes away your meter too.
Yep,
At 25%.
yep. And
Oh,
so
charge
it's
bar gain lowered. Cool. Also, they get uplift.
yeah.
Which one's Exorcist? Oh, this is the one that gives it wards.
All right. Is it time to go to your happy place, DJ? Because this is not a happy place for you right now. Let's.
Oh no, let's talk about the wards real quick.
So the wards are the whole thing that I was talking about with the concept of just putting up the like onmyoji seals. So it's like there's 5 total seals conceptually. I think 3 of them can't be removed or 2 of them can't be removed, and then the remaining ones have requirements to remove them, and they're not dispel. It is deal 6 million damage 6 times is one of them. One of
That's
them
the
is
fire ward, and that's mean because also defense is boosted.
um the truly mean one. I'm looking at this and going, how do I do this? Is it asks you? Well, I guess it's because it's the Earth ward. She takes less Earth damage um until you have CA'd 8 times in a turn.
Uh,
Or is it 8 times period?
A is 8 time period. B that's damage
Okay.
taken is reduced period.
Oh, it's just damage taken is reduced
Yeah,
period.
you're doing a
Okay.
wood ward, which is 15 or more defense
Okay.
debuffs.
Got it.
When
Okay.
15 or more debuffs when
The
your first
first
8 are
8.
blanked.
Yeah, the first 8 are blocked. Ugh. That's
Probably the easiest one is actually 5 damage skills for Earth Ward.
yeah, that's right.
And Gold Warrior's Faded Chain.
Yeah.
That's the one that gives a 6 or more, if you're at 6 or more, if it's at 6 or more buffs,
Hmm.
double strike.
Yeah. So yeah. There's a lot going on. A lot of moving parts on that fight. And if you are not juggling things from the beginning, because there's a lot of balls in the air, then they'll all just fall on your head.
Like when else does Miro Magica activate because it says that there's only two. Well, currently the wiki only lists two things that are cancelable.
Cancelable in terms of just omens.
Yeah, because well, you're let's be honest, you're not getting a CA out of this boss in the first part,
Mm-hmm. Because
and
yeah,
you're not getting a CA out of it in the second part too either. Or the
they
last part, I mean.
I've actually well yeah the last part so the omens that I know of are triple attack 3 times, which has come up multiple times.
Yep.
Um, is it
Last
hit
one is
blue skills?
debuffs
Yeah, okay,
twice,
that's right.
which you can't use Shalem for.
Because hers don't have a cooldown. Well, one of them has a cooldown.
Yeah, that one's a billion years long.